2 o'clock. Welcome. Thank you for coming. We as the Houston County Chamber of Commerce are very, very pleased and proud to present this forum this year. It's important to the community. It's important to each of you as citizens and those of you that are candidates, that people get information is power and you get to share the information with you. I would ask everyone to be try to remain quiet as much as you can. Actually reserve the dignity that goes on in the courtroom. We're here, okay? And please keep your comments more in line with what they should be when you do get a chance to ask questions. I'm honored that the people presenting and if this don't have anything that would either embarrass or create a problem. I want to thank Mayor Clark and the county for allowing us to have this facility. How would you like to be sitting on the square right now? This air conditioning is very, very nice. People will be coming and going, so just be mindful of that. And we know that because we will be here for a while. No food or drink, please, in the courtroom. That's a rule of the court, so we'll honor that. The guidelines are such. Each candidate has received a letter. They were assigned a time, so they know the time, approximate time that they're supposed to present. And the timekeeper, Mr. Harry Batten, has a watch, and he will call out 2 minutes and 5 minutes. Each candidate has 2 minutes to present their platform, and then there's 3 minutes for questions and answers. So it's a tight window, but if everybody stays to that schedule, we'll be through at 6:30. A lot of candidates here. And I know many of you may not be here at 6:30, but I've been here. I mentioned we'll ask to treat the candidates with respect, because that's very important. I'm Alan McCampbell. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm the Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce. Our objective is to give you the opportunity to meet the candidates. And also, it's an opportunity for the candidates to meet you. They haven't already. It's an important time in our nation. It's an important time in our state, city, and our county. And I think as everyone knows, that's a privilege we all have as we vote. It's an important time. Harry, is the watch pretty well ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, watch is too. All right. And he'll shoot you if you go over there. No. That's a pun I shouldn't even say that. Our first candidate, Jay Reedy, and this is for the Tennessee House of Representatives. Jay can't be here, but Jordan, his son, is going to speak for him. Jordan, as they say, you're on the clock.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jordan Reedy, and I will be representing Jay today. My dad, Jay, is running for the 74th District House of Representatives seat. Currently, he is one of 2 candidates on the Republican ticket. Many of you already know Jay, but I'm going to give a little background on him. He has lived in Tennessee for 25 years and is married to his wife, Nikki Coleman Reedy. He is the father of 3 children, myself and my 2 sisters. Dad is the owner and operator of a local small business, Houston County Lock and Key. In addition to that, he is a Master Beef certified cattle farmer and has a small farm, as well as working at Georgia Pacific Wallboard Plant in Cumberland City. Jay has served our country as an enlisted soldier in the United States Army, as well as a commissioned officer in the United States Armed Reserves. He is a life member of the NRA. He has also served as a Houston County Election Commissioner and is the current Correspondent Secretary for the Houston County Republican Party. And he's also the current president of the Middle Tennessee Locksmith Association. Jay wants to see positive changes in our district, and he does not want us to be overlooked in our state legislature due to our size any longer. He wants to help improve our county through job growth and local infrastructure development. He wants to help lessen the government's grip on our everyday lives, preserve our freedoms, and our civil liberties. If you have any questions, you may visit his website, jreedyfortennessee.com, or you can call him. His number is on one of these cards, and if anyone would like one, I can give them out at this question time. Thank you for coming out today and taking an interest in our community. Would anyone like a card? call or email on his website.
Thank you. I'm remiss, so I will step back where I should have been about 10 minutes ago. If you would, let's bow and have our invocation. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the freedoms that we have and we live with and that are bestowed upon us in our wonderful country. Thank you for the day we have today, the opportunity to come together to talk with each other about our country and our state, our region, our county, and our city. We ask you to continue to bless us. Please be with our leaders. Help our leaders make the decisions that are best for all of us as we go forward. These things we ask you here now. Amen. And I'll lead the pledge. Our next candidate for the Tennessee House of Representatives is Keith Svadda. If I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
That's fine.
Okay, please come up, Keith. I'm sorry. Is it Svadda?
Yes, sir.
Every now and then you get lucky.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Chamber for this opportunity and for everybody that came out. This opportunity to address everyone. As was stated, I am a candidate for Republican nomination for 74th House District. I have been a resident of Montgomery County since 1989, buying my house up there after I left the Army. I am an Army veteran, member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion, National Rifle Association, and Tennessee Firearms Association. I have been involved with the Republican Party for 8 years, serving in Montgomery County as a county executive member and chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Party. Also involved with the 912 project and the Montgomery County Tea Party Association. My belief is very simple. I am a constitutional conservative. I believe that the states need to stand up and take back the power that is granted them under the Constitution, that we have been, over the years, remiss in letting the federal government take too much control. I presently, since retiring from Fort Campbell in 2010, teach at North Central Institute, a post-secondary school dealing with aviation maintenance. So education is one of my big items. I see the problems with some of the students that are graduating from our schools. This is not the fault of the teachers. We've got to take back control and return it back to the local county school boards, not dictated from the federal government. The other thing that is near to my heart is jobs and infrastructure. Houston County and Stewart County have done a great job with their minutes. Thank you. With that being said, to take some questions, I would appreciate your vote, and if there's any questions, I'd gladly answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Next is representative for the Tennessee House of Representatives, Representative John.
I do appreciate being able to come talk to you. I do appreciate the fact that it's inclement weather, and 95 degrees is inclement weather. That's what we're going to have outside. But I do enjoy being here. I have enjoyed the representation of Houston County for the past 12 years, and I have also been in the state legislature before that and was reapportioned into Houston County, not this last one, but the time before. So you ought to be well aware of who I am and what my platform is. My platform is basically the fact that I am very constituent oriented. I have a lot of experience with government, having been elected to multiple jobs in Humphreys County, serving as the budget committee for the county for some 8 years. I also have written several bills that contribute to the welfare of Houston County. One of those bills is the Tennessee River Resort Act that I wrote. That, and I just got the report from that one, is somewhere around $80,000 this year it brought into Houston County with a 15-cent tax per penny that is going to lead to a lot of taxes you didn't have to pay because that particular bill was written. That particular bill is not a one-time thing. That was written several years ago and keeps gaining momentum each year. That is a every year bill. I also wrote all of the logging bills that are in the state today, and I wrote them as control bills. The logging industry is one of the few industries, if not the only industry, in the state of Tennessee that is not regulated, but controlled. And we had a report this past year from the Forestry Advisory Committee that we are now growing more timber in Tennessee than we're harvesting. I thought that was pretty good. A little bit on my bio before it blows his whistle. I'm a graduate engineer. I'm a civil engineer from the University of Tennessee. I've done graduate work in business from Vanderbilt. And I have graduated also from Castle Heights Military Academy. I have a postgraduate degree from there, so I have plenty of qualifications. I would also remind you that the experience that comes from down through the years that having been there, and I have always been there, and I don't think that since I have been in the legislature I have missed returning one single text or one single phone call that was made to me. Now that's constituent advocacy, and I'm proud of that, and I'll take questions. I hit it pretty good.
No, that fits with
Thank you. 50 seconds.
Question?
You are retired from DuPont, right?
I am retired. I'm a retired engineer from DuPont, right. I'm not sure somebody could go there as a young fellow and make a career out of the legislature. It only takes $20,000 a year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we move to our circuit court judge, 23rd Judicial District, and in Division 1, we have David Wolf. Welcome, David. Thank you, and I'm running for Circuit Court Judge, Division 1, as Robert Birch is retiring, and I don't have an opponent, but I'm here today to ask you to vote for me anyway. I'm from Houston County originally. I grew up here. This is the very first courtroom that I ever set foot in about 1964 on an Irish celebration. I snuck into this courtroom. I've been spending a lot of time in the courtroom since that time. Graduated from Houston County High School. The last teacher to ever paddle me is sitting on the front row to my right. I think she did that on purpose just to unnerve me, but in any event, my wife Beverly and I live in Dixon County, and I've been practicing law for 35 years here in the 23rd Judicial District, and I come over here quite a bit to court. I still consider Houston County to be my home county. I have to split time with it in Dixon County. My mother's here on the front row or second row. My dad's buried up here in the cemetery, and our roots run pretty deep. It is my belief that the circuit court and all of their courts belong to the citizens, not to the people who wear the robes and sit in judgment. If I'm elected, I'm going to do my job to fairly administer the law and to treat people with the respect and the dignity that they deserve. It will not be my courtroom, it will be your courtroom. I'm more or less a referee, and I will be doing everything I can to make sure that justice is meted out in the most fair and equitable manner. I do ask for your support. I ask for your input. Think of ways, or give me input on how we can improve the system. Many of you have been through the jury system here, and I can promise you one thing. I don't plan to give you an hour-long jury speech each time you're called in for jury duty. We'll talk about what needs to be talked about, but I will not waste your time by trying to be repetitive over things you may already know, but I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone may have. If anyone has any questions about my job or what I'm coming into, I'll be glad to answer those now. All right, anybody got any questions? No, I thank you for your support and for your vote, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. Appreciate it. County Anderson, watch his mother out there. That's natural. Okay, Division 3 of the Circuit Court, Judge, 23rd District. We have Jack Arnold. Come on up, Jack. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
I'd also like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for having us and for having this indoors. My name is Jack Arnold. I'm actually one of 4 candidates that y'all will be hearing from, or that you will have to choose among anyway, for the Division 3 Circuit Court position. I'm an Iraq War veteran. I served in the 10th Mountain Division prior to using my GI Bill in law school. At present, I'm a small businessman. I have a legal practice in Ashland City, Tennessee. Primarily, I do criminal defense, but I have cases that run the gamut. I've got some cases in probate, circuit civil, and chancery as we speak. I'm asking for your vote. I think the main thing that you should know about me is that I've thought about justice for a long time. I put my life on the line to support and defend the United States Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's not an oath I consider discharge upon having left the United States Army. I've tried to comport myself and make my decisions in life and in my job with an eye towards that goal, an eye towards supporting and defending the Constitution, and with an eye towards fairness and justice. And I think one of the things that you're going to have to make a choice about when it comes to choosing someone to be a judge, in essence, a referee, you're going to have to make a decision, and that decision is going to involve decisions about disposition, intelligence, character, really the full gamut of human experience. Because the person that you're picking is going to have to make decisions that are based on those very things. So the amount of judgment you guys are going to be required to use really is as great or greater than the amount of judgment the candidates will use on the bench. And I'd love to take some questions.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much.
Next will be Steve Powers.
Hello there, my name is Steve Powers. I'm a candidate for Circuit Court Judge in Division 3, and I have a question for you when I get done. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started out as a police officer over in Cheatham County, Ashland City, Tennessee. I worked as a deputy there for a great deal of time, 10 years, and worked during the daytime. Went to school at night, National School of Law, got my law degree. Was fortunate to pass the bar exam on the first try, and opened a law office there in Ashland City from 2000 to 2005. I was in private practice. I did a lot of criminal defense, a lot of domestic type stuff, mostly domestic stuff, because that's what you had to do to pay the bills as a private attorney. But I have learned since I've become an attorney that a lot of cases, the criminal part's easy to me, because working as a police officer, I learned the law. Police officers know a lot more about the law than people give them credit for. So as a judge, the criminal part would be easy. The hard part to me, I think, would be the civil side. I don't know very many people that have ever gone to court as a last resort on purpose for a divorce or for child custody or visitation or anything like that. And I take that very seriously. Having raised 3 sons of my own, I tell people I don't think you're a full-fledged parent until you've gone through the teenage years. And I've got 3 boys, and they were teenagers. And so, but now I've got 28-year-old twin sons. One of them's a firefighter for the City of Clarksville Fire Department. The other is a general manager of Sonic there in Pleasant View, where we live. He started at Sonic when he was 16, worked his way through high school and college. Now he's got his own store. My youngest son, he's in the Air Force. He graduated from medical school this past May 10th.
He signed up, they paid for all his medical school. He's at Hughesville Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi right now with two of my grandkids that I miss dearly. But he's there and he's serving our country as a medical doctor, so he's doing really well. So I say that I've raised my children well, and I feel like that if somebody came before me as a judge and I haven't had to make tough decisions for somebody else, I feel like I've made good decisions for my family and my life. And I feel like I could help people and point people in the right direction in those types of situations. My father got his GED in the Army, and I come from a humble background, and I would serve humbly if elected as your judge. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Why didn't you look at more on these? Let's go. That's my question.
Thank you. Suzanne Locker, or Mash. I didn't mean to stumble. Well,
I'm Suzanne Lockard Nash, and I'm running for Circuit Court Judge in Division 3. There's 3 divisions of Circuit Court judges, and you pick one in each division. I am from Cheatham County. I am living in Stewart County. Like David, I've spent a lot of time in this courtroom. When I first started practicing, I came down here and tried a lot of drug cases, a lot of DUI cases. The last time I was in this courtroom, I tried an armed robbery case and a murder case. So I'm very familiar with this courtroom and this system. A circuit court judge, last year there were 5,147 cases filed in our district. And a caseload study shows that we need one more judge. So I think experience really counts in this election. On September the 1st, whoever wins this division will start here in Houston County, and they will begin trying cases. I've tried well over 100 jury trials. I've tried a death penalty case. I've had to stand before a jury and ask them to sentence a man to death. So I can handle very serious cases. I was raised in Cheatham County and went to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Upon graduation, I went to Nashville School of Law. I worked as a probation officer, as a child abuse investigator, and I did that while I went to law school at night. I was in private practice, and in private practice I handled civil cases with my father in Ashland City. And in 1990, Kenneth Atkins hired me as a prosecutor, and I have been with the district attorney's office ever since. I have lots of experience in jury trials, and if you ask any of the attorneys, they'll tell you that most of the cases that go to trial are criminal jury trials. So I wouldn't have any problem stepping up on the bench and having the knowledge of the law, the knowledge of the jury experience. I also am a Rule 31 family law mediator, and I got that at David Lipscomb University. I again would ask that you consider me, vote for me, and I thank you for all coming out. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. Thank you.
thank you. We'll move to Public Defender 23rd Judicial District, and first will be William B. Jake Locker. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Is the speaker working? Yes. Okay. I was elected in 1998 as public defender after serving 12 years as your assistant district attorney. We had some interesting times during that time. I served under Jimmy Mobley as sheriff, Tweety Lambert when he was sheriff, and it was some pretty interesting times, but I got good experience. When I ran in 1998, I ran on the platform that I would do my job in court, but I would also bring innovative programs into this district, and I've done that. I brought the first CASA program, Court Appointed Special Advocate for Kids program. I brought the first drug court program in this district that has saved over $1 million in tax dollars. Immediately after being elected, I went to each county commission in all 5 counties, and we implemented a program and procedure that has allowed me to hire 2 positions in my office that do not come out of tax dollars whatsoever. So in the course of my almost 16 years, I have saved a little over $1.75 million tax dollars for the taxpayers of this district. I've worked hard I've handled over 50 murder and homicide cases, multiple death penalty cases. I'm the only candidate in my race that's death penalty qualified. That matters because if your public defender is not death penalty qualified, your tax dollars will have to pay a private lawyer to handle those cases, and that averages over $50,000 per case in legal fees. So I'd appreciate your support. Any questions? You didn't spank me in high school, but I was spanked by every teacher but 2 that I didn't take their classes. So I'm proud of that record.
Stannis had a lot of hand in justice now. She was in the baby. Okay. Next is Kelly Jackson Smith. Next is for Houston County Mayor. And the first one will be George Clark. Welcome, George.
I hope y'all enjoy our courtroom. We're really proud. I think we have one of the nicest courtrooms in the district. First of all, I want to thank the chamber for hosting this forum today, and I want to say it's been a pleasure for me to serve as your county mayor for the last 2 years. I'm going to give you a little background information about the ones that don't know me. Of course, my name is George Clark, and I'm married to Lorena Clark. A lot of people call her Rena. We've been married for 40 years. We have one daughter, Melissa Fulcher, and I have one granddaughter. Her name is Melissa Fulcher. I live in the Rices Creek community. I live on our family farm. My brother and I have a small farming operation. I attended Houston County High School, and I'll have to say this, Billy was one of my teachers too, in County. I graduated there, but then I went to Austin Peay, and I attended Austin Peay, have a BS degree from there. I also went through a 5-year pipe fitter apprentice program, and I'm a certified pipe fitter, still belong to the my family and I are members of the Mirren Baptist Church. I serve there as the board of deacons and also as treasurer. Like I say, it's been an honor to serve Houston County, and I think we've really accomplished some things over the years. By working with our county commission, our state officials, and federal officials, we've tried to bring jobs into our county and to promote tourism. Some of the projects that we've done in the last year, you notice on 49 Highway, we built a new ambulance building, new fire department building. We also have a new 911 facility under construction. Should be in operation within the next 2 months. We're in the process, and we've already let the bids on the new highway department that will be located next to our jail. I could go on and on, but I would appreciate your vote. If there's anything that I can do, my office can always help you. Come by and see. Any questions? Yes.
What's the biggest bass fish you've ever caught?
You know, I have a place on the lake, and I got to go to the lake once this year. That's it. I just don't get to do it. But we want you to come and fish at Kentucky Lake and enjoy our lake and stop on your way through town and eat at Bitz's or one of our other restaurants on Southern Air and spend your money. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
It was about this long. Okay, next is Eric Lee. We are running so far ahead of schedule. We gave everybody a post out. So they may start drifting in, so I'll kill a little time. But we anticipated more questions. I would say now, I probably should have said this to start with. You can use your 5 minutes, if there are no questions, what I suggest you do is ask your own questions if you're sitting. I.e., if I were you, I'd be asking me about this. But I apologize to the candidates that have already spoken, so because you lost the benefit of that time. What I'm doing is a break where there's none of your opposition that has that advantage. But we anticipated that there would be more candidates, so this was part of it. It's still a 5 minute. And like I say, if they come in, yes, sir.
Just to be fair, one of my opponents is here, and I think he did sign up, Mr. Scott Saul. So if you want to get him in, even though he's running against me, I'll be nice.
All right.
If I could, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Did you send your letter back? Saul?
All right, thank you, Mr. Locker. Now I can't say anything bad about him, which I was planning on doing, so I don't know what I would say now. My name is Scott Saul. I'm also running for District Public Defender. Just so you folks know, they're here from Houston County. It's a very big district. We cover 5 counties here. Geographically speaking, it's a really large district. We have Stewart, Houston, Humphreys, Dixon, and Cheatham County. I live in South Cheatham County with my wife and 3 children. 2 girls and a son who's sandwiched in the middle there. The primary reason I'm running for public defender is my area of practice. I've been practicing for 10 years is criminal defense work. Because of that, I have to be willing to travel all around Middle Tennessee to get enough, basically to get enough clients to be able to maintain a practice. And as my kids get older, I realize they're not going to be children much longer. They'll be grown and out of the house. So I'm interested in this position because I'll still be able to do what I like to do and what I'm good at, which is handle criminal defense cases, but I'll be able to do it in my home district and not have to travel around quite as much. I know that it's not a glamorous job. I'm a good trial attorney. Mr. Locker is a good trial attorney. Our other opponent, Ms. Smith, is a good trial attorney. So it's a little bit of a unique race in that whoever you elect, this district is going to have a good trial attorney. But it's a matter of who do you think would be most appropriate for the job or best for the job. And I think what I bring to that is to be able to do a good job in the courtroom, to be able to do a good job administratively, handling the office, and making sure that everyone is treated the way they should be treated fairly. Our primary opponent when we handle or work in criminal defense cases is the state, the district attorney's office, and the primary witnesses in those cases are often police officers. I generally have a good relationship with police officers. I admire the work they do. You couldn't pay me enough money to be a police officer. Anyone who has to wear a Kevlar vest and carry a gun to do their job, that's not a job I'm personally interested in doing. So I respect that work, but we have to be able to keep some of that in check. We have to be able to thoroughly review those cases to make sure things are being done properly. And that's really the role of the public defender, to make sure the state is doing what they're supposed to be doing in the courtroom and out on the street. So that's all I have to say. Now that I don't have anything to say about Mr. Locker, I don't have much to say.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Now we want to go to, move to the Houston County Commissioner, District 1. And George Sherman is a candidate. Is George here? Come on up here.
Thank you for the time to speak. I'm not going to speak about myself. I'm going to speak about our hospital. Our hospital is owned by you people out there. And if you don't support our hospital, the hospital is going to disappear. You need to use our facilities Otherwise, we'll not have a hospital. And then you're going to have to go to Dixon, you're going to have to go to wherever. A lot of people go to Gateway. Gateway is at the bottom of the list in quality in the state of Tennessee. Our hospital has your friends, your neighbors, and the people around you that work there. If you go to a doctor, even though it's not in Houston County, supposing you go to Dixon or whatever, and your doctor says you need some lab work, have the doctor write a prescription and come to our hospital to get the lab work done. That way we get revenue, it keeps the hospital open, it keeps people employed. We need to keep this hospital. So you people and people that are going to watch on TV need to use our hospital as much as they can. If you need an x-ray, if you need a CT scan, if you need blood work, urinalysis, mammogram, Doppler, get your doctor to write you a prescription and come to our hospital to get it done. And that's going to help our revenue, it's going to help our hospital, it's going to keep people employed, and use our hospital. Thank you. Anybody got any questions? I'll use a little bit of this time to criticize fellow politicians. Stop being selfish to your own generation. We have to look to the future. And if you're going to make decisions based on the current generation only, we got serious problems for our grandkids and our kids. Stop being selfish. Stop wanting your road or your driveway paved. That is not in the best interest of your county. It's not in the best interest because your kids are going to have to pay for that later on. So I want our politicians to be aware that they need to count for the future and not the present. The present is nice, but we need to plan for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Appreciate those comments. District 3, Glenn Baggett. Welcome, Glenn.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I am Glenn Baggett. I'm the oldest son of the late Austin and Elaine Baggett. I grew up here in Houston County, went to Houston County High School, graduated, went into the Air Force, was gone for a few years with that. About 15 years ago, my wife and I moved back to Houston County, built a house up on Tank Hill where we still live today. Being a veteran, I am active in the American Legion Post 72 and I'm currently serving as their financial officer. I am, serving on the board of directors for the Houston County Drug Alliance, currently serving as chairman, been serving there for several years. Been serving the county as a reserve deputy for the last 5 years, Houston County Sheriff's Office. I'm asking for your vote to go back to the county commission. I've been there, I've seen the workings, I've seen the process, and understand the challenges that the county commission faces and the county faces. Trying to provide the services and figuring out how to pay for it. You can bring in different revenue streams without beating the citizens of Houston County to death to do it. Thank you very much. I'm asking for your support today. Questions?
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Next, for District 3 is Vernon Ray Elliott.
First off, I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on. Mr. Campbell, Mr. Beck, Ms. Betty McKinnon for arranging this. It's a very useful tool to decide who to vote for. As she said, my name is Ray Elliott, and I'm a lifelong resident of Houston County. I graduated from Houston County High School, and like a friend David, Miss Finley talked to me with a paddle one time. We deserved it. It didn't hurt us. I'm going to kind of agree with what Mr. George said a while ago about our hospital. We need that hospital. That hospital has saved a lot of lives. It's not the best, the biggest, but They see that if you need to go somewhere else, they'll send you there. We need to use this hospital. I've been a commissioner for several years, and I've got two good opponents running against me, Mr. Baggett and Ms. Greenfield. But I'm asking for your vote and support, and appreciate anything you do for it. Have any questions? Thank you.
Okay, we're moving to District 4. We have Charles Darrell Kingsville.
I appreciate this opportunity to get up here. My name is Darrell Kingsville. I've been a district commissioner in District 4 now for the past 24 years. And I've lived here all my life, went to school here. I appreciate your vote in the upcoming election. Thank you. Any questions?
No question?
Oh, ma'am, she never get a hold of me. She gives me some talking to, though.
Thanks, Darrell. I'll have to call home until I'm starting. They don't have to hold dinner. We're moving on pretty good. Okay, our next candidate is Howard Spurgeon. Howard? Thanks, Howard. Thanks for being here.
My name is Howard Spurgeon. Some of you may know me, several of you may not. I grew up here in Houston County, moved away, went to the Navy, spent 4 years with the Navy, Vietnam veteran, etc. And so I am quite concerned about veteran and veteran affairs and things that do occur. When I looked at the opportunity to speak today, and the thing that came up and said, what was your platform? Well, looking at a platform, in this county, to me, there are three things that we really need and need to stress. First of all is education. And right now, it's my understanding our school system has a rather large fund balance that could be used to expand the opportunities that our kids have at the high school level. One of the things that I would like to see the school system do is open up and create the opportunity for kids to learn such things as electricity, plumbing, things that we don't have. I mean, this past winter, I think some of you might agree, I had a pipe to break. It took a long time to find a plumber that was willing to come out on one of those icy days and put my water back together. But we do not have those opportunities in the county, and we need those. In addition to that, I would like to see our school system recognize and support the veterans of this community. We have 766 veterans. That's people that have directly served. When we take a look at the number of veterans that served, we say, okay, they're married, they had a couple of kids. We start looking at the number of people in the county. By my simple math, 6,000 out of 8,000 people in this county have relationships to a veteran one way or the other. And yet, we have a school system that keeps ignoring the veterans within this community. Last but not least, on the education side of that, is that we need more opportunities for these kids. Why not create apprenticeships with TVA so that we can teach them what they need to know so when they finish, they can go out and get a job almost immediately with TVA or another local business. In addition to that, the next part of my platform would be, let's take a look at the infrastructure, the road systems. What do we need to help the people in this county? You know, I'm in District 4. I'm in the far end of it. But I have driven every road in District 4 at this point, and there are a couple of places that we need to pay attention to. And if elected, one of the things I will do is continue to do that. I will drive my district, I will look at my district, and I will support the people in the district in District 4. Now, I agree with Mr. Grant, the hospital is a key, important factor. However, we cannot take a look and dismiss the other opportunities. We have people in this county that are working at Gateway, they're working at Dixon. And so we need to be very cautious when we begin to say something about another facility. We need the hospital. The thing to do with that, though, is that I agree. Let's have physicians say, let me have my blood drawn at home. In the last couple of years, I have had the opportunity to use the facilities of the hospital. One for a torn rotator cuff, another one for a knee replacement. And we have no finer group of physical therapists anywhere than the ones we have that are associated with this hospital. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
The apprentice program at the high school, I don't know, but they do have one in auto mechanics, because Freddie's had them for the last 2 years.
That would be a great program. I would like to see it expanded, maybe into small engine repair would be a good opportunity. Maybe even bringing it and partnering with the technology school over in Dixon. And why don't we use our facilities to have, say, training, diesel mechanic training right here locally.
Well, that's what it is. They come in for a half year
Okay.
and get all money on mechanical training.
Well, I think we need to do that. I think we need to make people aware in the county that we have. Other questions? With nothing else, I would ask for those in District 4 to support me, vote for me, and let's take Houston County and let's make it grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Jimmy, we have a little break here. Are you prepared to speak? Okay. He didn't get his form in, but he's here, and we've made some good progress, so. Okay.
My name's Jimmy Ross. I'm running for Commissioner in District 4. And I am a veteran of Vietnam. And veterans are very important to me in Houston County and as a county as a whole. But if you would allow me to be your commissioner in District 4, I promise you, not only will I vote for the things that's right for District 4, I will also vote for what's important as a county as a whole, because we need that. You know, you just can't say, well, I'm in District 4 and I'm in some other district. You need to, when you vote, you need to take in on what you're going to say about when you make a decision for the county as a whole. So I'm running for commissioner, and I would appreciate it if I can be elected. Is there any questions?
Okay, we're going to Circuit Court Clerk, Judy Ferris.
Hello, I want to thank everyone for coming out, Congress for having us here. A lot of you know, I'm Judy Rod Ferris, and I'm running for Circuit Court Clerk. I got my beginning working in this field through Corson McMillan. I worked for her for a little bit of a time, and then she trained me. And from there, it was just part-time, so I went on to the hospital, and I worked there 5 years. And I'm working in Clarksville right now. I've been there 14 years. I began to write warrants for the officers, and we do have a good group of officers, city and county. I'm still doing that today, 20 years later. I'm working for the Honorable Sid Vinson as the magistrate for Houston County. If given the opportunity, I give you my 100 best. I'm asking for your vote on August 7th and your support. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Sharon Tomlin.
ourselves to you today. I also want to thank Houston County for allowing us to come into the courtroom since it is air conditioned. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Sharon Tomlinson, and I have been your circuit court clerk for the last 8 years, and I am seeking re-election to that office. I reside in Tennessee Ridge with my husband of 41 years, Donald Clay Tomlinson. We have 3 children and 7 grandchildren, all who live in Houston County. I have been humbled by many of you who have uttered words of encouragement, wrote notes, gave me drink while out in the hot roads, and even invited me into the meals. Right now, I want to say thank you to my husband. He's been so faithful campaigning for me. He's done my signs. He's mowed around every one of them, and not just mine, but many of yours that are here today. Many of you have thanked me for his hard work, but today I want to thank him myself. I appreciate all his time. I also want to tell both of my daughters who have worked diligently for me. I was very busy in a 3-week civil trial, not able to get out and campaign. My daughters undertook that job, went door to door for me. I appreciate them, every step they've taken on my behalf. I've tried to maintain an organized office and have tried to be helpful to each person who enters my office. I ask for your continued confidence in me. Early voting begins July 18th, and the election office across the street will be open during that time, and it will continue for 2 weeks. Election day is August 7th. I ask each of you to vote, and when you do cast your ballot, I ask for you to re-elect me, Sharon Tomlinson, as your circuit court clerk. Do we have any questions? Good. Many of you, including Mr. Jones here, has asked me to explain a little bit about the jury service, and I thought maybe I would go into that. I did that at my last speech down at White Oak. I guess many have found it interesting. Mr. Jerem felt it very important. Well, I can't hardly reach it. Let's see this. What most people are not aware of are the laws in the state of Tennessee have changed. The state legislature changed the jury laws in January 2012. The law no longer allows those of certain ages or professions to be automatically excused from jury duty. What I'm telling you is a person of 75 years old still has to be invited for jury duty. Many of us don't consider that an invitation, but that is really what it is. A doctor or an attorney also is called to jury service. I have called employees from the Sheriff's Department, from our courthouse, from every office here. I've called employees, and they have served. On the 3-week civil trial I just held, I had a sheriff's deputy on that trial. So it doesn't matter who you are or what your status is. If I call you to jury service, you have to report. Now, there are times when some of us can't do that, and I do my best to take that into consideration. If you're self-employed, I put you on a special list. If you're elderly and I can get enough young people in here, I set you aside. If you're sick, I also put you on a special list. There's no need in disrupting every life for jury duty. We have enough people in our county to serve if they're willing. Now, the one question that I have a lot is, how do you deal with it day in and day out, people walking in the office with all the problems that they have? Well, the one thing that I recall the most is Judge Larry Wallace said to me, the trial or the person that you're helping at this moment, it may seem very frivolous to you, but to that person, this is the most important time of their life. And I try to remember that and treat them as such. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Jury service 101.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any
We
questions,
are
please
so
call.
far ahead, I'm gonna take a 15-minute break and then we'll catch up.
Well, good, then everybody will be refreshed.
We would think. They've been very good, so we'll take a 15-minute break. Be back in here about 5 after or so. And just give us a little breather. Judges are usually attorneys. What was the average time? 23 seconds? 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So it's, you know, it's, I'm just using that as an example. So we're running ahead of schedule. That's all right. In keeping with what the statement I just made, we have Eric Ligon. And Eric is a candidate for mayor. And if you would, Eric, come on. We'll have you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
My name is Eric Ligon. I'm a resident of this county, 37 years old. I've lived here all my life. I work on a farm with my father. I do a little trapping. I worked in numerous factories. I'm very well educated. I see there needs to be a change, progressive change. And I've got some radical views. I'm a little bit different, and I got a different viewpoint on things. I can put that in perspective, and the thing is, it's for the people. That's what I want. It doesn't really matter what I want. If I get the office, I'll come and talk to y'all guys. Everybody out there, and as many people in the county as I can talk to before I make a decision. Because regardless of what I want, the most important thing is what the people want. Now, I'm young enough, and I'm a little bit arrogant, a little bit determined, a little bit over anxious, and I can be kind of pushy. So I can ask for grants, and I can be pushy about it. I can write a letter every day, maybe 2 a day, to the same individual, the same organizations that I need to get funding from. Whatever the county needs, from one end of the county to the other. If roads are bad on one end of the county and they're looking too good on the other end, well, we kind of need to moderate that out and fix everything to the best value, not just what people see, but where people live and where people travel. A lot of farmers filling up potholes around here. Well, that gets a little bit bad when they're doing it. I know there's a budget, and the budget is something that's you've got to examine, you've got to realize. It's everything in the county. What we do need more. We need more tourism in this county. And I don't know how we're going to get that, but it's a challenge, and it's something that needs to be looked at, needs to be presented. And GE, he has done a good job of getting some things done in the county. He's been doing it for a long time, and I just decided that it's time for me to step up. I hear people all the time using mayors, governors, senators as scapegoats and everything else, and I realize that kind of situation when you get into it, but at some point you got to fight, and I need your support. I need the backing of the people. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Eric. Okay, next we have Kelly Jackson Smith. She's a candidate, public defender for the 23rd Judicial District. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelly Jackson Smith, and I am a candidate for District Public Defender. The district in which I'm running is the same district as your circuit court judges, which is Houston, Humphreys, Stewart, Cheatham, and Dickson County. I'm a Dickson County resident. I was born and raised in Dickson County. I was raised on a farm near Cheatham County. I'm a member of Ashland City First Baptist Church. I worked with the DA's office here in the 23rd Judicial District for 6.5 years. During those 6.5 years, I tried and led cases involving homicide. I also took a lot of felony cases to trial. In fact, in one of those years, I tried more cases in front of a jury than any other prosecutor in the state of Tennessee. I like trial work, I like to work hard, I like to be challenged, and I appreciate doing a good job for the people that I'm intended to serve. I'm running for this particular office because I intend to restore 3 things to the Public Defender's Office: integrity, tenacity, and efficiency. Now, the Public Defender's Office has limited resources, like every other government office. And those resources have to be spent and utilized in the most efficient way possible to make sure that everyone who needs a public defender will receive competent legal defense. I believe that that means the elected official, the public defender, cannot cherry-pick cases. And I will not cherry-pick cases. I will work hard, I will be present, I will be in court, and I will take any case that any of the circuit court, city court, or general sessions court judges believe needs a public defender. Pardon. Now, I know that you may not need me. I know that you may never need a public defender. But I know that if you do, you will want someone as dedicated to you, your case, and your legal defense as I will be. Again, my name is Kelly Jackson Smith. I'm running for the District Public Defender's Office. Thank you very much for having me. God bless you and have a good evening. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
What kind of cases do you take? Is it for somebody that does not have money to pay an attorney to defend?
Yes, sir. The public defender's job, and in fact why they get paid with taxpayers' money, is when you are charged with a crime, you are entitled to a legal defense. Now, lawyers are very expensive, and some people can't afford to hire their own attorney. And that's when, if the judge determines that you do fit those criteria, that you are charged with the crime and that you can in fact not hire your own attorney, you will be appointed the public defender. At that point, it is the public defender's responsibility, along with the assistants, to handle your legal defense in whatever court it may be and for whatever charge you may have been charged with. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, well, I've got my cards up here. They got my website on them. If you think of anything between now and the election that you would like to ask me about, my law office is in Dixon. My number's in the phone book. You can come by and see me, call me, and I'll come see you. I'd love to talk to you if you do have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Next, we move to the office of sheriff. Since we're running so far ahead of time, so Ken is here. If you would like, I'll have you come on up and make your presentation. Ken Marks. Ken, we're running well.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for getting.
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for coming out, but we are running kind of ahead of time. I was supposed to be here, I think, at 4:30 or something like that. I know we got 2 minutes. Just briefly, I think most of y'all know me. Some that you may not. I was born and raised here in Houston County. I've lived here my whole life. My whole law enforcement career has been here in Houston County. I started out in '86 as a deputy, and I worked there until '91. I was the chief of police at Tennessee Ridge Police Department. And I was elected to my first term in 1998 as sheriff, and I served 3 terms as your sheriff. Excuse me, they're total 12 years. It's one of the things which I worked my way up from the very bottom. I started at the very bottom, worked my way up through the ranks until I was elected to the highest position in law enforcement in Houston County. And I dedicated my whole career to Houston County, which I had many opportunities that I could have went somewhere else, but I chose to stay here at my home, raised my family here. My family's, my wife and I have been married close to 28 years. It'll be 28 years this November. And we raised our 2 boys, Josh and Matt, here. Been here my whole life. This is my home. That's why I chose to stay here. and serve you, the citizens of Houston County. As I've already said once before, the past 4 years, I've been out of law enforcement, been farming. People have asked me what I've been doing. I've been helping a farmer that works out of Montgomery County. We farm in Montgomery, Stewart, Dixon, and Houston counties. So I've been doing that the last 4 years, which is not still kind of stay in, I guess, in what's going on with the law enforcement issues here. And a lot of people that called me and want me to run again. And so a couple of years ago, I decided I would seek the office again, because this is what I've done my whole life. This is all I've done. That was my 2 minutes, so if you got any questions, you can ask me a question. I do ask you to vote for me on August 7th or start next Friday. Okay. Well, let's see. If you don't have any questions, I guess I can keep on going. But I guess kind of what I was going to say, I kind of got off the train of thought. I apologize for that. Is that I've dedicated my whole life here, and in 4 years I've been. I'm still in the county, and keeping up with law enforcement issues and law enforcement things. People that wanted me to run again, so I told them I would, and about the last couple of years we've been preparing to run again. So I've been looking at things from the citizen perspective to see how I can improve on my last 12 years of serving as sheriff. And I think that I've come up with a couple of good things for that. And I won't get into the whole thing because I already mentioned it down at White Oak. It's a program that I'm going to call Adopt a Neighborhood, which, as I said, other programs are designed to get the community involved in programs. This program is for getting the sheriff's office, the sheriff and his deputies involved in the communities. Because it is important for you to know the sheriff and his deputies. It's important for the deputies and the sheriff to know the communities in which they serve. I will say this, I have a proven record as serving as your sheriff. I always worked within my budget. Had a good working relationship with the county legislative body, prepared budgets, and I stayed in them. Just like me at home, I got a budget, I've got to stay in that budget. So I kind of treated it like that. I didn't have anybody I could go back and ask for more money. So that's how I tried to be a good steward of money that was entrusted in me to run the sheriff's office. We always had 24-hour patrols, had a dedicated drug investigator, and I'd like to see that position come back. As most of you probably know, I taught the DARE program for 14 years here in Houston County and some in Humphreys County. And I'm not sure what's going on with that program, but I would like to bring that program back, maybe some others with the school. I was talking to a lady the other day when I was on the door-to-door campaigning, and there's an issue, a serious issue with bullying that's been brought to my attention, which my boys are grown, they're out of school, but there's a serious issue with bullying in our school system. There's a program that I've been working on, and I would like to work with the school system, the school board, Ms. Harvey, and implement something there which is to educate children. It's also to educate the staff. Thank you for your time.
Representative here, I know Darryl Allison said he couldn't be here, but we have a representative here. Is there anyone here? We're running an hour. I had Ken scheduled for 4:32. So we were well ahead of schedule, so, okay. Anybody, Kevin Suggs, not here. So now, is there anybody from the Register of Deeds?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll start with Cheryl Moore.
I know my
We'll go back to the others. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being early.
The quicker we do this and get it over with, the better we'll all be.
Now,
You're trying to make fun of me.
no, I'm not. I had the same.
I don't have a problem, I can follow.
All right.
Thank you. Well, I just want to tell y'all, the ones that don't know me, my name is Cheryl Potts Moore, and I have served as Register of Deeds for 25 years. This is really bittersweet to me, and I hope I don't tear up. But 25 years ago, almost to this day, I was standing right here, but I was looking this way. And I was pleading with the county legislative body to give me a chance for this job. 31 applicants was here that night, and they were lined up all around the room. Undoubtedly, I got through to them, because here I am. But one of the commissioners came over to me. The register at that time had a year left of her term, and she married a preacher and moved away. So after they gave it to me, one of them got me pointed over there. He asked me, he said, "Now, you're single too." He said, "You're going to stay away from these preachers, aren't you?" I said, "I can't make you any promises." I said, "If the right preacher comes along with the right amount of money, I'm gone too." So I didn't lie. But you see, that hasn't happened. Here I stand, begging again. But it is bittersweet. But you know, after they gave me the chance, I was going to prove to them I could do it. Now, mind you, it hadn't been easy. And the very next day, I had to take office, and at 4:30 that evening, I got to my car. I thought I'd made the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. But you wouldn't get me to admit it then, because I was going to show them. And I feel like I have done that. People trust me for the safekeeping of their public records. Well, I've done everything I could do to do that. The registrar's office is just like us. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I want to know if you consider yourself as a habitual liar, or do you just do it for your campaign?
I don't know.
You know what you've done to my wife and me. You know what you said to us. I don't know if that's...
This is not the form.
Okay.
Right.
But I feel like it's great.
I will answer you. I didn't lie.
We can't get into personal language, okay? Other questions?
You're welcome. Well, can I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Other than having the title of Register of Deeds, you know, it's more than just a job to me. You know, it's a big part of my life. And, you know, it makes me feel good. I'm selfish in a way. Sure, I want the paycheck. But when I help people, it makes me feel good in here. And when somebody calls me and the phone rings at 3 o'clock and they say, "Miss Cheryl, I'm in Clarksville and I've got my deeds prepared, but I didn't want to put them in the mail, What time do you close?" Well, what time do you need me to close? You know, I'm just a public servant. I keep the hours you need to keep. I come on Saturday by appointment, you know, and then when I do, that makes me feel good. I have worked within my budget, but the one thing, I'm going to run out of minutes again. Ask, a 3-letter word. I'm going to stand up here and tell you what a good job I've done. But don't take my word for it. You ask the bankers, the lawyers, the surveyors, you know, because most people don't use it on an everyday basis. You know, they use it, it's easier to pay their lawyers and let them do all the recording and stuff. So they really don't know the efficiency of the office. So ask, please. Don't take my word, ask. Any more questions? Thank you.
Sheila Spear.
Good afternoon. My name is Sheila Milan Spears, and I hope to be your next Register of Deeds. I have lived in Houston County all my life. My mother is Frances Arlene Milan, and my dad is the late Percy Milan. I am married to Larry Spears, and we've been married for 31 years. We have one son, Joshua. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. I worked at Southern Gage for 25 years, and then I went to work at the Register of Deeds office for 7 months. I am now employed at the Houston County EMS, and I have been there for 10 years. I appreciate all the support from my family and friends. I have met a lot of people on the campaign trail, and I apologize if I can't get to everyone, but I hope I can. And if not, I will look forward to seeing you at the poll. I thank you for everything.
Questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Next, we'll go back to the sheriff. Kevin, you're here. Kevin Sutton.
My name is Kevin. Thanks, sir. My name is Kevin Sutton. I'm a native of this county, went to school in this county, graduated from this county. After graduation, I attended Austin Peay State University, criminal justice. After I'd done that, I went through, I've got close to 30 years in the field, highway patrol. I've completed 3 law enforcement academies, one which being a federal academy. I attended the first Marine-based highway patrol academy ever in the state of Tennessee. I graduated in the top 10% of my class. I come to the table, I feel like a lot to offer. I've completed over 65 different courses. I went back to the state, petitioned the state, done my homework, done my work. Now I'm an instructor in 13 different fields for the state. I also do the carry conceal permit thing for the state here in this county. My mother and daddy was Jack and Nell Sugg. They passed. Late brother Keith was my brother. That coming in as close to the sisters I got that Shanna and a lot of you's family. I'm very appreciative of being here. Some of the things I want to do in the county, one of them, which being a farm program, I want to be the first sheriff in Houston County to come back here and begin a farm program. Hopefully we'll get some questions on that. I don't feel that prisoners should get the same benefits that some of our retirees do. I'm a strong supporter of our veterans. I want to be tied up in the veterans affairs. Nothing's free, y'all. Whether you're a police officer in the street, out there in the field fighting in wars. I was stationed down in Shelby County on the highway patrol. I stayed in that area for 15 years. I come back here in 2011, and y'all, what a blessing, what a blessing. I live at 310 Midway Drive. My phone number is in the book. If you forget the number, it's 289-GUNS. Please call me. Come see me. Come down to City Hall. I'm currently the assistant police chief down there. What questions I don't get to answer tonight, I'll be glad to answer. I'm ready for questions.
What do you plan on doing different if you're elected that's not being done now?
What I plan to do different that's not being done now. Now this is me. This is the things and I'm not saying these things not been done, but I've looked at this. Right now, the sheriff's department is currently, for one thing, they have a fuel tank here. And I know that Sheriff Allison's probably saving pennies on dollars having a fuel tank here. That fuel is coming out of Clarksville. Now look, if I gotta save pennies on a dollar, I want my business up here in town. If I've got to save that few cents on that fuel, I'll put 2 deputies riding together once a month to get that money back. Because when we don't do business in our town, our children lose a job, our spouses lose a job, and I absolutely believe in that. I just finished this leadership program, and I'm in the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm all about that. Work programs, I want to up the work programs. For example, the county superintendent goes out to storm, they get trees in the road. If we're notified of them trees, I'll have them pressure go cut them trees. We'll stockpile that wood at Highland Rim. We got people here in very, very big need of that wood. I don't want to waste nothing. Every day I work them pressures, I can give them 2 for 1. I got a 6-month stretch, I can get them out there in 3 months with a good reference, try to turn them around. They ain't absorbing no food, they're not absorbing no medical bills. That's cheaper for us. Next question.
About the art program.
The farm program, this farm program, if we can, down in West Tennessee, this happened a lot. It helps on the sheriff's budget. The prisoners want to do it, for one. They can get out and they can do it. I can feed that in the jail. Believe it or not, I've got to doing this on the state, and we can get some retired ladies from Highland Rim to come and even show the prisoners how to can, and we can can this stuff and still use it. We have people right here in this county that could use them extra groceries, could use them extra vegetables. I'm sorry, I'm moving my talk. What we don't use out there, we can put it out here in the street to some of these elders that could just very well need that. Meals on Wheels is a very important program. I want 5 minutes, or 5 seconds. 5 minutes. We can get that in the field out here to people that can very well use that. And it gives that prisoner's responsibility. You know, to me, jail is not jail, it's correction. We take these people and we try to correct them, and we try to get them where they need to be, and we put them back in the workforce to pay taxes like you and I do. That's it? I should have 5 minutes. Thank y'all very much. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
They'll all be around afterwards, so, you know, good question. And Daryl Allison's out of town, so there's a representative going to be here to speak with you, but they're not here as yet. But we're about to catch up, so now we will go to Superintendent Rhodes. Okay. Is George here? Yeah. There's George. Come on up, George. George Dew.
Well, for the ones that don't know me, my name is George Dew. I was born and raised right here in Houston County. I was have 25 years, over 25 years experience with the county. And over the years, I've been overseas several jobs, state aid, paving, state aid bridges, and over the experience has allowed me to be strong communication with other agents, as well as process ability to communicate with the employees and the general public. If I'm elected, I'll strive to have better roads in Houston County and keep them maintained to the best of my ability. And I believe if I'm elected, the highway superintendent, my experience will help me do a better job. Thank you.
Questions?
All right.
The speed limit sign in our county roads is 45 miles an hour, yet there's not a single sign that says that in the county. Will you, as road superintendent, put up speed limit signs of 45 miles an hour?
I think that is 55 mile an hour.
No.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, if we got the signs up, what? Sure. Any more? Good.
Jimmy Phelps.
Miss Finley never with me. We brought my dad several times, but Miss Finley never did. I'm Jimmy Phelps, and I was going to say something really nice about Miss Finley, and I just left. Miss Finley taught my English class, and if I'd have listened better, I'd have probably had a better speech, but I didn't, and I was down paying for it, and that's what she taught me 45 years ago. Someday I'll listen. I want to recommend my wife. My wife's here, Patricia, 45 years also. My best friend. I am a native of Houston County. I graduated from Houston County High School. A member of the Campground Company Presbyterian Church. A member of the Chamber of Commerce. I graduated Houston County Leadership. Member of the Heron Rotary Club. A member of the Tennessee Highway Officials Association. I've served in Houston County for the past 8 years as highway superintendent. It's the best job I ever had, and I sure would like to keep it. Some of the things I've done since I've been highway superintendent is in the last 8 years, we have had 5 major disasters declared in the state of Tennessee. Over $2 million come to Houston County to repair disaster work. The highway department did that work with their in-house people. We didn't let any contracts other than just a few $1,000 to pour concrete because we didn't have the funds to do it with it. So by doing that for us, with the in-house labor, we actually made money working on things. We have a large fund balance in the highway department. And because of that, that is because of the work we did for family. Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What are the qualifications for being a road superintendent besides all the organizations you belong to?
Well, I've been the highway superintendent for 8 years. Before that, I worked for an engineering company for 35 years. If you're driving on a paved street in the city of Heron, I pay one time or another. The city of Dover, numerous cities all over the state of Tennessee. I have 35 years engineering experience. Any other questions? Thank you.
Robert B. Richardson.
Hi, my name's Brian Richardson, and I'd like to appreciate everybody coming out here today. For those that don't know me, I'm a graduate of Houston County High School. I've owned my own business since 1987. For several reasons, but by the end of this time, well, know why I think I'm the number one candidate for highway superintendent. There are several reasons I say that. One, I'm an equipment operator by trade. 2, I hold a CDL license, and I've been a supervisor on large jobs and maintaining budgets from Vanderbilt University to Vanderbilt Medical Center to Millington Naval Bases. And there's 28 people employed up and down through them jobs. And I think by bringing knowledge here, if you can't do all 3 of them functions, then how do you make a good supervisor? I'm the youngest candidate. And being by the youngest candidate, I want to dedicate to get the roads and bridges back up where they should be, to entice people, retire people to come here and build houses in the community. And I want to do it for long term. I like for everybody, we have a Facebook page. I like for everybody to come up on the Facebook page. Remember Richardson for Highway Superintendent. You can pull up my list of qualifications, my certifications that I have throughout, and qualifications. I'm no stranger to politics. I've been served on the hearing board for 6 years. I currently serve the Board of Zoning and Appeals Committee of the board and Planning Commission of the board since 1988. I'm here for a long term. I'm not standing up here campaigning for 4 years. I have long, short-term goals listed on my website. So my goal is I'm not campaigning for 4 years. I'm campaigning for 6 to 12. Because things that need to be done, where I think the roads need to be, is not going to make it. I'm ready to go to work for better roads and bridges now. Thank you. Questions?
Again, the speed limit in county roads is 45 miles an hour. There's not a single sign up anywhere in the county. That's why the sheriffs cannot enforce that law, and that's why we have so many people speeding on our county roads. The question is, if you become road superintendent, will you put up 45-mile speed limit signs on the county road?
That's not the only signs we got problems with. There's stop signs being stolen. There's road signs where EMS can't get to there. There's speed limit signs not posted.
So is that a yes or a no?
Yes, that's a yes. But there's more than just that one problem with signs that used to get being stolen. Any more questions?
If you're elected, are you gonna be hands-on, or are you gonna be in office, you gonna be out?
I'm on, there's probably 14 to 16, I don't know how many employees out there. I'm gonna have 2 working foremen. I'm gonna split the crews up, 2 different crews, what they want to do, what I want them to do. We're gonna have a Facebook, and you can go to that Facebook. We're gonna be mowing down your way. You can come up on Facebook. We're gonna try to keep it updated. The 18th, the 20th, we'll be at Brigham Branch. The 19th, 21st, we'll be at another road. So I'll be out there hands-on to make sure it gets done, because our bridges, you can't see over the guardrails in some places. Go to my Facebook, there's current pictures being posted once a week. There's about 20, 30 pictures on it right now. Questions? Yes, sir.
You notice a lot of times when they go along and mow the ditches, they kick all the old weeds and stuff out onto the road. Sometimes it's branches and everything else out onto the roadway, and it seems like it never gets cleaned up.
Years ago, Mr. Carlisle was in office. There's several older people, gentlemen that's done passed away, that all they did was come in and work in the summertime, part-time people. And 2 of them followed the trailers, the tractors, put 3 tractors out. And their 2 people in that pickup shop was job to do was keep up the traffic. And whenever time they crossed the bridge, to cut the embankment out around the bridges with the guardrail and follow the trucks on through there. That was 2 part-time jobs. Mr. Bobby Diller was one. I can't think of Miss Harvey's daddy was another one that did that. And that's what needs to be done now. As they go along, it needs to be done. And that's where I want to work with the sheriffs, whoever gets elected, is I like to put at least 1 or 2 prisoners with that man when we cut right away for them to do the work. So we don't have